So introducing our next speaker, Dr. Maria Rosario Jackson, the chair of the National Endowment for the Arts. Yes, absolutely. In January 2022, Dr. Maria Rosario Jackson became the 13th chair of the National Endowment for the Arts. Her appointment by President Biden is historic, as she is the agency's first African American and Mexican American woman to serve as NEA chair. Dr. Jackson's career is focused on understanding and elevating arts, culture, and design as crucial elements of healthy and equitable communities. A planner, researcher, and academic, Dr. Jackson is a tenured professor on leave from Arizona State University. Go Devils, that is my alma mater, I love that. Where she led the Studio for Creativity, Place, and Equitable Communities. For almost 10 years, she served as senior advisor on arts and culture and strategic learning, research, and evaluation at the Kresge Foundation and has advised other foundations. For 18 years, Dr. Jackson worked at the Urban Institute in Washington, D.C., where she was the founding director of the Culture, Creativity, and Communities program. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Dr. Maria Rosario Jackson.
So thank you for that warm welcome and introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Christopher, you really gave me a hard act to follow. That was just lovely. To Renee Fleming and the teams at LA Opera and Los Angeles County Department of Arts and Culture, thank you for what you do every day to advance the arts and health in Los Angeles and across the country. And thank you for inviting me to join you today. It's especially sweet because LA is home. Born and raised here in the Crenshaw area, and delighted to be able to be here today with all of you. I'm also really happy to see this collaboration among the entities that made this event possible. Partnerships like this can have a real impact in communities, and I'm grateful for your leadership in this important work, because it is important work. I appreciate the opportunity to share with you a little bit about what's going on at the National Endowment for the Arts. This is our nation's federal arts agency. Prioritizing the integration of arts with strategies that promote health and well-being and the resilience of people and communities is something I care about very deeply. And now, many of you now know, given the introduction, that I bring a background in urban planning and comprehensive community development focused on justice, equity, and especially for historically marginalized communities. And one thing that I'm certain of, and I've been certain of this my entire career, is that none of the things that we say that we aspire to as a nation of opportunity are possible or durable without understanding the role of the arts and related work in all aspects of our lives and communities. Leading the Arts Endowment at this time is truly an honor, and it's also a big responsibility because it's a time full of challenges, but also tremendous opportunities, and I really do believe this. This is a time to reimagine our sectors and pave pathways to bolster the roles of the arts in forming healthy, equitable, and opportunity-rich communities around the nation. And I hope it won't surprise you to hear that the NEA has worked at the intersection of arts and health, well-being, and wellness for many years, in some ways that are obvious and in some ways that are less visible. And I'll give you some examples. Many NEA grants support projects that impact the health of individuals at all ages. For example, our arts education program is focused on K through 12 students, the educators and civic leaders who support them, and the schools and communities that serve them. And from early childhood through adolescence, arts education not only expands what's often too narrow concepts of academic experiences, but it can also help to support the social and emotional needs of students, helping them to better cope with their feelings, to bounce back from adversity, and to show tolerance and compassion for others, qualities that we know are critically important to a healthy society, especially when we're more and more aware of the importance of human connection and a sense of belonging. The NEA also encourages projects that recognize the creative potential that older adults bring to the arts and the enriched quality of life that's made possible to them through the arts. We know that socializing can be a major driver of attending arts events, but we also know that there are some physical benefits. There was a 2017 NEA research effort that showed that older adults who both created art and attended arts events reported higher cognitive functioning and lower rates of both hypertension and limitations to their physical functioning than did adults who neither created nor attended art. And an NEA-supported study just released through the Journal of Aging Studies recently finds that older adults who participated in a dance or music workshop twice a week for 10 weeks describe personal growth in terms of greater social connection, development of new skills, use of a growth mindset, and creativity as a way of overcoming barriers presented by musculoskeletal challenges, hearing impairment, and difficulty retaining new information. The NEA is also dedicated to improving the health and well-being and quality of life for military-connected populations through our Creative Forces program. And this is called the NEA Military Healing Arts Network, which some of you may be familiar with. It's an initiative that's focused on what people think of as invisible wounds, so brain injuries, trauma. It's more than a decade old, and it's a partnership with the Departments of Defense and Veterans Affairs. And it places creative arts therapy, so art therapy, music therapy, dance, and movement therapy at the core of patient-centered care at clinical sites throughout the country. And over time, we recognize that as military populations begin to integrate more into communities, that there's an important continuum of care that's important. So just last week, we announced $750,000 of grants to 34 organizations to conduct community engagement programs for military-connected populations with the goals of empowering creative expression, building social connections, and improving resilience. NEA also funds, with the National Institutes of Health, research on the benefits of music therapies and music-based health interventions. This is so apropos here. And to promote research and public awareness about the subject, we support the Sound Health Network in partnership with Renee Fleming and the University of California, San Francisco. And this is a national resource center that promotes knowledge and awareness about the impacts of music on health. Through NEA's research awards, we've catalyzed studies about the arts and healing and how the arts can foster health and well-being across lifespan. And I know there was mention, I think, earlier today about some of the research that's happening through those programs. In other work, more recently, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recognized the value of involving arts in their efforts. And over the past 2 years, the NEA has been working with the CDC and the CDC Foundation in support of an initiative to promote vaccine confidence through arts engagement. We're part of a whole-of-government group on equitable long-term recovery and resilience initiated by the Department of Health and Human Services in the wake of COVID. And this partnership has yielded many policy recommendations that we're looking forward to making real, and many of these have arts integration at the core. Another example of research includes our research labs. And one study recently, which included the analysis of longitudinal data from 12,000 teenagers, revealed that extracurricular arts activities were associated with greater odds of reporting social support from peers. So that as students that had engaged in those activities were more likely later to report receiving social support from their friends. And this is because arts provides opportunities for social engagement, developing friendships, building a sense of community. And last, through our Town program, which links the arts and design to community development efforts, we're supporting work that impacts quality of life and by extension impacts health and wellness. So for example, projects that increase walkability through urban design or promote nutrition and address food deserts through culturally affirming programming focused on foods, and efforts that build social fabric at the neighborhood level through arts-based strategies. So this is a time of heightened interest in mental and physical health and wellness as a result of the pandemic. It's also a time that I'm very excited about when the public health field continues to expand its understanding of social and environmental determinants of health outcomes. And there's great opportunity to lift up and expand the roles that arts and artists can play in the wellness of individuals and communities. One thing that we're doing at the Arts Endowment under my leadership is organizing the framing of our various disparate and sometimes long-standing bodies of work at the intersection of arts and health into a portfolio and a narrative that will better make visible and useful the years of empirical research into arts and health and examples of relevant programs. We're looking for connections among existing bodies of work and building from that to launch new programs and partnerships within federal government and beyond. So by embracing an expanded public health prism on social determinants of health, we're exploring how collaborations with entities like the Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Housing and Urban Development, Department of Transportation, and others can contribute to healing and wellness in our nation, and at the same time, unlock more opportunities for new and more kinds of ways in which artists can contribute. I believe that at their most powerful, the arts don't exist in a bubble or in isolation. The arts and creative practices have to be part of our everyday lived experiences, our education, our social lives, part of our built environment, part of our civic infrastructure. And I think of civic infrastructure as those relationships and mechanisms that we rely on to care for each other. So the arts aren't just extra. Our ability to live artful lives, I think, is essential to advancing our full humanity and our health and wellness as a nation. Again, I'm grateful for the opportunity to share some thoughts with you today, and mindful of the challenges ahead, I'm also deeply inspired by what's possible now and in the years ahead. And please know that the National Endowment for the Arts is proud to work alongside you. Thank you.